Ahoy everybody, and welcome to another haul video. First of all, apologies that there was no video last week. Work's been a nightmare for various reasons, largely staff shortages due to holidays and COVID. It was my long week where I only have one day off anyways, and on that one day I was just so knackered I couldn't be asked to record a video, basically. So apologies for that. Hopefully things will start to improve. But I did have time on Friday. It was a long day. I was up at 4:30 for work for a 5:30 start. Worked till 1:30, then had errands to do. Had a gig in the evening, but in between I did visit the new A Slice of Vinyl shop. So A Slice of Vinyl has moved. So it's now in its third shop. It's gone from a little room above a cafe in Gosport High Street, then it moved to just round the corner to South Street in Gosport in its first full-size shop, and now it's moved to a bigger shop in Stoke Road, which is you've got the main high street in Gosport, and there's a little gap where there's a supermarket and a park. There's a further shopping street called Stoke Road, which is more sort of independent stores. It certainly back in the old days, it used to be, you know, the Woolies and your Boots, which Boots is still there, but your Burtons and your Radio Rentals and your Rumbelows and all that, your R Price, were all in the high street, and then all the independent shops were in Stoke Road, and it's still sort of that to an extent, although the high street is now charity shops and coffee shops mainly. So yeah, it's a better fit in Stoke Road for him, I feel, and certainly so far that seems to be the case, and it's a bigger shop as well. So you saw before the credits my little approach to the shop and briefly inside. I do intend doing a proper inside the store video. I know Kieran won't mind. I was going to do that on Friday, but we got chatting and time got away from us and I didn't have time to do that. So, but in the future, look out for that. But yeah, really impressed with the new shop. It's lovely. When he told me about them moving a few weeks ago, he sort of told me before everybody knew. He said it was slightly bigger than the old premises. It's much bigger. He was underestimating how big it was. So it's just, everything's just more spacious. There's room for them to do in-store events and things like that. And it just felt really nice and comfortable and homely. So it was nice to pay a visit. And whilst I was there, of course, I bought some records, which is what most of you are interested in. So without any more ado, and this, you know, it's now Monday, so it's been 4 days since I bought these, and I've largely forgotten quite what I bought. So this will be interesting for me as well to see what I got. So they're all pre-loved, so it's all of them cost me 10% less than the price you see, because I get a 10% discount there as a regular customer. Yeah, okay. So first up, we have Paul Simon's self-titled debut, I believe. So £6.30 for that. Having got all of Simon and Garfunkel, I decided I'm going to get Paul Simon's solo work. I've got Graceland and Rhythm of the Saints, is it called? On CD. But I'll certainly get all the early albums on vinyl if I can. I'll probably end up getting those two on vinyl as well because they're fairly easy to come by. So yeah, this debu's got Mother and Child Reunion, Me and Julio Down by the Schoolyard on it. The two ones that instantly leap out. Sleeves falling apart a bit, inner and outer, but that never bothers me. On CBS. Yeah, really nice condition. And it's got a poster, is this? Yep. the original poster in it. So pleased with that. Now at the end. Okay, what have we got here? This he'd only got in this week. So this is Jose Feliciano's Feliciano album. So this cost me £4.50. His classic cover of Light My Fire was the big draw on here for me, but interested to hear it all. And polylined in, probably the original, almost certainly the original, on RCA. Couple of light marks, but nothing bad. And we have, what we got here? Oh, Star Council, Confessions of a Pop Group. So £13.50 this would have cost. I have Cafe Bleu and our favourite shop, is it called? That one. So I needed this one for the collection. My Ever Changing Moods on here. No, it's not. Could have sworn I just saw that. No, ignore me. It's not on here. Yeah, I don't recognise any of the titles. Whether I'll recognise the songs when I hear them. Original inner. Bit dusty, but otherwise pretty mint. And the original booklet. It's a three-way fold out thing, I think. Oh, this is a bit stuck together. But no damage. Let's get all the lyrics. So you may recall that for Christmas I got a free CD Jethro Tull Best Of, and if you watched when I did my CD update after I'd listened to that and talked about that one, I did mention that I'd enjoyed it. It didn't make me want to blanket collect Jethro Tull, but there was I would get their sort of classics, so Thick as a Brick, Aqualung, and then I can't remember what it's called, but there was one that they released in the late 80s, early 90s, that my dad had on cassette that we used to listen to in the car, and if I saw that out and about, I'd get that. Something to do with rock, sort of a brownish cover with something in the middle. I'll pop it on screen. So I've been hanging on, waiting to find those albums at a price I was happy with, and sure enough, so Thick as a Brick for £25, so £22.50. As you would expect, it's a bit worn on the newspaper sleeve. In fact, it's very worn on the newspaper sleeve, but I would expect nothing less. You know, it isn't packaging that was built to last, but it's all there. It's all folded up, and I don't want to undo it too much. But yeah, it's all present and correct. Just falling apart a bit, as I say. On Chrysalis, quite a few scratches on there, but nothing yeah, nothing you can feel, so it should play fine. Make just a bit of noise probably. Afterwards, and he also had Aqualung, the same price. Feels like an early, if not original, pressing. Again, chrysalis. Yeah, a couple of light marks, but again, nothing that should affect play. Another Joe Jackson from my collection. I don't recall him showing, and I don't recall seeing it in there before, so I don't know when this appeared. So it's £10, so it would have cost me £9. So this is Big World. This is what it's called, isn't it? Yeah, Big World. So this is a three-sided album. No, not a gatefold. I thought it was going to be a gatefold, but it wasn't. Don't recognise any of the titles. When's it from? 86. There might be one or two that are on the best of CD that I have. Yeah, pretty minty. Side 3. Actually, side 4 just says there is no music on this side. It's just one big long groove. You know I'm not going to be able to resist sticking it on there and seeing what happens. I'm guessing it'll just run straight through, but it'll be interesting. Oh, and we've also got a multilingual fold out lyric and credits sheet thing, booklet, whatever you want to call it. Then we have, what's the name of this? Duck Rock. Duck Rock by Malcolm McLaren. Somebody talked about this album. I think it was either Richard McCook or Rob Walker. I've got a feeling it might have been Richard McCook, but I might be misremembering. But yeah, I've always liked Buffalo Girls. I've always liked Double Dutch, which are both on here. So I thought, yeah, let's give it a go. For £9. So we've got another, it's all big fold out stuff today, isn't it? And yeah, light marking, but you know, just shows that it's been played, nothing damaged. Picked up for £4.50. 20 Golden Greats by Diana Ross and the Supremes. I've been after a Supremes best of for a while, but I wanted one, most importantly, that had The Happening on, which is a big favourite of mine, but also that had, you know, wasn't one of these best ofs that, like, you know, 3 well-known hits and then loads of filler. And this certainly isn't that. Original inner. Obviously on Motown. Yeah, that's pretty much mint condition. But yeah, where do I love? Yeah, start again. Where did I love go, baby love? Come see about me. Stop in the name of love. Back in my eyes again. I hear a symphony. You can't hurry, love. You keep me hanging on. Love is here and now you're gone. They're happening. Yeah, the sort of later stuff I'm not familiar with. I might recognise them when I hear them. But, you know, certainly more than half of it is proper classic Supremes tracks. This is obviously much later. I'm guessing 80s compilation. So enough Paul Simon. There goes Rhyming Simon for £8, so £7.20. With a hype sticker. Always a nice bonus. Featuring the hit singles Take Me to the Mardi Gras and Loves Me Like a Rock. If you say so. Take your word for that. Yeah, I don't recognise any of the titles. Again, I might recognise them when I hear them. So when I'm browsing in shops I trust, I don't tend to look at the records. So I'm sort of discovering this now. You know, I know if there are any issues, they will see me right anyway. Some light markings on that, but nothing major. And I also know that they wouldn't deliberately put out anything that wouldn't play. So yeah, I never get the vinyl out and check it because I trust them. Another Paul Simon, also £8, so £7.20. This is One Trick Pony, which is soundtrack to the movie of the same name. Again, nothing I recognise title-wise. Big thick inner sleeve, and it's in a polyline sleeve inside. I don't know if that's original or not. Feels old, but on Warner Brothers. Again, some light marking, but just signs of play, really. And still with Paul Simon, still crazy after all these years. £6.30. And again, hype sticker. Hit single Gone at Last. So the title track, I know, 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover. They're the two, but I definitely know. Original inner. On CBS. Yeah, it's pretty much mint. I think this might be a later reissue. Going by the quality and the label. This he'd shown and I asked him to put by for me, which of course he did. So this cost me £13.50. This is Genesis, yeah. We Can't Dance. So apart from Calling All Stations, I think this completes me on their studio albums. I will get Calling All Stations. I'm not sure if it's available on vinyl without paying silly money, because of when it's from, but I might pick up that on CD just for completeness sake. I also have most of the live albums as well, but I definitely need The Way We Walk the Longs. Oh, that might be it. But yeah, this is sort of, I know this is sacrilege, but this is sort of the era of Genesis that I particularly enjoy. You know, it's the Genesis I grew up with, the more poppy side of them. It's the tracks I heard regularly. Yeah, light marking, but nothing major on those. So I do enjoy and appreciate the earlier stuff, but this is really, you know, that's my era of Genesis, I'm afraid to say. And finally, for £5, a £4.50, a Bob Newhart album, The Button Down Mind Strikes Back. Bob Newhart, American comedian. This was in with a jazz section, and I believe this is him backed by a jazz band, but I do believe it's still comedy. You know, he's telling stories over it. Recorded at the Hungry Eye San Francisco and Freddy's Club in Minneapolis. That's definitely an original copy. So that, yeah, this will be interesting to hear on a Warner Brothers label I've never seen before. Definitely more of the film vibe to that for me, anyway. Yeah, light marks, needs a bit of a clean, but you know, very resilient vinyl from, have we got a date on here? Not that I can see, but it's definitely old. I'd say, oh, there we are, 1960. It's on the cover. Yeah, so it should be fine. Yeah, so that was it. A decent haul. Some classics in there. So looking forward to listening to those. Yeah, but really impressed with the new store. Seems to be going very well. It's been just over a week now they've been open there. They opened Saturday the 1st. And, you know, they're constantly busy. Whilst, I mean, I was in there probably about an hour and a half where we were chatting, and I had was allowed to go backstage and look at the room they had behind the shop and stuff like that. And, you know, often I can be in there that long and maybe one or two people will come in very briefly. But whilst I was there, there was maybe half a dozen people came in for proper browsing. Couple of them bought stuff, you know, some of them didn't, but, you know, at least they know they're there and they're obviously interested, which is always a good sign. And Kieran says, you know, it has been constantly, rather than, you know, always people in, whereas before it used to be, you know, long dead periods and then customers and then long dead periods. It was just a steady flow of customers throughout the day, which was good. So yeah, looking promising. But as I say, I will try and get some proper footage in there at a later date. Thank you for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Thanks.